Good afternoon and welcome to Sister Indrani.
Good afternoon to everyone. I know it's a Saturday afternoon and lots of people must be occupied, but we can continue with this interesting topic. So before we continue with this, let us just take a moment of silence. And we just have a little meditation. So I take this moment to reflect. I relax. I breathe in and out gently, slowing down. I let go of any unnecessary thoughts. My mind becomes light and calm. I become absolutely still like a pond. Quiet and still. Feeling this inner peace. Allowing this peace to grow and fill my awareness. I am a being of peace. I radiate this peace into my surroundings. Filling the environment with stillness and peace creates a positive and powerful environment. In this stillness, I become aware that I am a being of light and a being of peace. Be in the moment and experience this deep stillness and peace. Stillness and peace. In this moment of silence and elevated awareness, I gently come back into this physical space. Thank you, and welcome once again to this lovely session on the topic is the art of positive living. So sometimes you may ask yourself, the world is in a turmoil and how can we be positive? So we're very fortunate at this time with the spiritual study, we are able to connect with ourselves and connect with the Supreme Soul and allow for ourselves to journey onto this positive aspect of living. So when we look at the word positive, what does it actually mean? Positivity is a subtle spiritual energy. And this energy is naturally found in all of us. This positivity promotes, when we have a positive mind, it promotes healing. And this energy then flows out to others. It's absolutely powerful. So when the mind is in a positive mode, it's actually discharging a lot of energy. And this energy then naturally flows out. So the spiritual study actually teaches us how to accumulate this positivity. And whenever we begin the day, we fill our mind with so much of treasures of our natural qualities that the natural qualities are the 7 main qualities of peace, power, purity, love, wisdom. So when we accumulate all of these qualities, then naturally we are in our positive state. But it is a practice. And so we may know all of these qualities of the soul, but when we begin our day in the morning, we go into the practice of experiencing each of these qualities very deeply within the self. Experience that peace. Peace is so fundamental for the soul. Once I am in my peace, then many other virtues start to emerge. And then my day starts off very, very powerfully. So I'll just read the subject that was on the positive living. It says to be free from worry means having the power to change negative perceptions through deepening awareness of the inner self, the divine, and the spiritual laws of life. So I was just thinking, looking at the saying, you cannot have a positive outcome with a negative thought. So where there's worry, there's a negative emotion, and we cannot experience a positive outcome through that. And so we are going to look at aspects of our different beliefs, because sometimes we say when we worry, then we can solve our problems, but it's actually a belief. And so we also look at some of the spiritual laws, and we will also look at how we can connect with the divine, because the divine is the source of all qualities and treasures and powers. And so when I link my mind and intellect with this divine source, I can accumulate as much as I want. So I think I will go to the first slide, Sister Aruna. Thank you. Okay, Vicky, yes. So when we look at the slide of this tree, the tree of attitudes, a seed of soul consciousness, when I am in my soul conscious awareness, then you'll see how many positive qualities there are on this beautiful tree, like benevolence, wisdom, serenity, contentment, stability, cleanliness. These are all positive tendencies. And so when I am in this mode, then I am in my soul consciousness, in my true form, in my authentic form. And something that is in its natural form is absolutely powerful. Thank you. You can go on to the next slide. Yes, so we don't only think positive, but naturally then we will talk positive and also feel positive. Very important. Thank you. So we've developed a number of beliefs, and with regards to the beliefs, there are certain facts that will teach us that our beliefs are allowing for us just to make those assumptions, and it's not true. And so We will look at the first belief. The next slide, Sister Aruna, thank you. Yes, so connecting with nature, the first one, the first belief is connecting with nature and enjoying its beauty gives permanent peace and bliss. So yes, it's true. We can experience, the soul can experience the bliss and the peace, but and can be very pleasing and soothing to the soul. But peace and bliss experience from nature is not actually permanent because we lead a very busy life and we cannot always be in in the midst of nature. And so when we are connected with the inner spiritual self and God, we can experience this true inner peace and permanent peace and bliss. So yes, nature is wonderful, it's beautiful. And so to allow for this qualities to be permanent within us, we have to practice our going into our spiritual self and also connecting to God, who is the source of all of this qualities. And then we can experience this and allow for it to emerge in our lives and allow for us to be in that positive state and peaceful state. And it is good to enjoy the scenes of nature, but we should also make the spiritual connection that I mentioned earlier. And then we will be able to become stable, and whatever circumstances or events come up, we will be able to handle it because our inner world has been empowered to actually handle the outer world. Yeah. And then we have the belief number 2. Worry and fear prepares us for negative situations. Worrying for someone close to us is a sign of our love for them. Before my spiritual study, I thought, no, to worry and fear is showing concern. But in actual fact, it actually drains us even further because worry and fear are negative emotions. It's heavy emotions. It takes away our peace and energy, and it's really drowning. And so when I started my spiritual study, and I found that any situation that came through, I could handle it. I remember when my sister was very ill and everyone was in a worried state, and you could feel that heaviness. And people would phone me and they would say, we're so sorry that your sister is sick. I said, no, there's no need to be sorry because I'm not sorry. I realize that the illness will come and affect everyone, but I am having good wishes, pure feelings, I'm being positive, and this energy will reach the soul because it is soul to soul connection. And so when we are having these feelings, you will feel good. And the person who is sick, definitely these pure positive vibrations will reach that soul. So in worry, we cannot find any solution, and there's no healing in worry or fear. And so this worry also harms our health and depletes the soul of spiritual treasures like wisdom and contentment. So it's just to be so aware of ourselves that when this emotion of worry and fear comes in, just check yourself and say, how much is it helping me, or how much is going to help others who are in trouble or who are sick? Let me try and reverse all of this and instead have powerful, positive thoughts, good wishes. And I must say, it works wonders. So the next belief, The third belief is anger. Anger is necessary for success in relationships, and it is important for getting work done and gaining respect. It provides a mental surge of energy and makes us powerful. So this is just an assumption that we make for ourselves. And we actually believe it for ourselves that if I get anger, if there's anger, then everything will be done precisely and everyone will listen to me. But maybe for that time, but this energy is also a negative energy. So I just want to share an example of myself. I was working in a psychiatric unit and we had chronic patients and they were quite challenging. And so we would get the patients to bath in the mornings. So because of the medication they take, they become very drowsy. It's very challenging to get them into the bathroom. So I had just started my meditation courses at that stage. And the patient just wouldn't go into the bath immediately. She would walk in the corridor up and down with the high heel shoes. And I will get very frustrated. And I would repeatedly say to the patient, you must get into the bathroom now, it's getting late. And I could feel that agitation. I could feel that frustration, but it was creating a conflict within myself. And then in the evening, I went to the meditation teacher and said, look, I know I'm a peaceful soul. I'm actually studying and saying that I am this peaceful soul, but I'm not peaceful when I'm at work. When I'm at the center, I am absolutely peaceful and I enjoy the silence and the peace. And when I get to work, it's something else. So the teacher says, your morning meditation, you need to absorb peace from the Supreme Being. You need to stabilize yourself in that peace. You need to create good wishes and pure feelings for all the souls that you are in contact with. And that morning, I made this concerted effort. And I very diligently went into peace, created good wishes and pure feelings. And when I went to work the next day, it was absolutely amazing what had happened. This patient looked at me, she greeted me, she smiled. I didn't say a word. And you can see how our thought energy, our positive energy reaches souls so powerfully. And so she cooperated so well. So from that day onwards, I realized, how am I using my mind, my thoughts, my words, my actions? And this really impacted very positively, which says to me, yes, meditation works not only for you, but it also works for others. So when I work in peace, then others will also listen to me. And we know that anger is a negative emotion and it harms our health. It depletes the soul of spiritual treasures, wisdom and contentment as well. So we have to be very aware of our emotions. Is it a negative emotion or a positive emotion? And where there's peace, there's always cooperation automatically. And then we have the spiritual laws. So with regards to the spiritual laws, I'm sure you are aware of the first law, the law of karma. As you sow, so shall you reap. And with regards to the law of karma, whatever we think, whatever we put out, definitely comes back to us, whether it's good or bad. You know, they talk about the law of attraction. And so when they speak about the law of attraction, we have all those qualities and the powers within us. So we can attract our inner qualities, and whatever we need, we allow for these qualities to emerge, and then we experience the positivity we experience that powerful stage that we want to be in. And the law of karma does not only mean the action, but it means what are my thoughts like, my words, and my actions. When all three are aligned, then it becomes very powerful, because I may think something, but my words may be very sweet, but my actions may be a bit aggressive or rough. So it's not aligned. So I may not feel comfortable with myself. I'm not in my true self. And so others around me will also feel that. So I actually create an account for myself, not being in my true self. And so when I am not in my true self, I'm breaking the spiritual law. So I will go to the second aspect, the spiritual law of happiness. And the awareness we have is, when I'm in the awareness of happiness, then I am aware that there is a sense of freedom. So these laws are our natural state of being. As I mentioned earlier, that our natural state of being are those 7 qualities of love, peace, wisdom, bliss, purity, and power. This is who we really are, but also it needs a lot of practice. So when I'm in my happiness, you will be aware of your freedom and having a sense of being a free spirit. You know, it reminds me of a little child, that they are not aware of any negativity, no matter what's happening around in the environment. They are carefree because the mind is not bogged up with too many stuff, or they don't become judgmental. They just free, and there's pure joy, and they have this absolute lightness. And so we tend to break the law of happiness. This is our natural law, spiritual law. And so when we break any law, there's consequences, there's negative consequences. So for example, if I break the law of the traffic, and I go at a fast speed and break the law of the speed, then definitely I will get a fine. And so it's not a very good feeling, you know, when you get a fine. So similarly, that when we break the spiritual law, we also experience unhappiness. So why do we break the law is that, you know, we blame others for what we feel, we become attached to something or someone. And when something goes wrong, or say, for instance, I become attached to my car and someone scratched my car, I become so upset and I become angry, I become irritated. So my attachment brings about so much of pain for me, because I have ownership of this car. It's my car. You know, I and mine brings about a lot of pain. And here happiness is saying, be a free spirit in the mind. And so when I have the sense of awareness, the key is awareness, knowing who I really am. I am happiness. I am peace. So sometimes my happiness is dependent on what I have and who I have. And to really work very deeply into all of this so that I can find my true freedom and my positivity. And so, you know, we actually go into that the ego says to us that we must have this, and this is mine, this is my child. And then there is the sense of possessiveness as well. which goes against the spiritual law, because in a sense, we don't own anything and we don't own anyone. So it's a very difficult concept to actually understand. But once you start practicing being soul conscious, this awareness becomes very easy. And you find that you actually experience that inner peace and inner lightness. And so when we violate these laws of happiness, then we experience that agitation and anger. And you find that perhaps on the road, you're driving and someone comes in front of you and overtakes you. And so you become agitated and you say, oh, all right, fine. He's overtaken me. And then there is this road rage. And then what happens when you violate the law? Then we need laws within the society to maintain peace and harmony between people. So you can see how these days we have many laws that have come into being because of our negative behaviors. So earlier, there were not so many laws and rules, and now they are increasing because we moved away from our natural state of being to being body conscious and being in our ego mode. And this ego is our false perception of who we really are. And it allows for me to go into my negative qualities of arrogance, peacelessness, and attachment, greed, anger, sadness. Yeah. So the second law is a spiritual law of peace. And where there's peace, there's a lot of depth and innocence. And then I become aware of my purity, absolute, pristine, and being untouched by anything, and not having any trace of negativity or any trace of body consciousness. And so when I experience the state of purity, I am in that depth of natural peace, love, and happiness. And if you look at a child, a newborn child, it's in its state of purity, such innocence. And no matter how the child looks or who the child is, everyone's attraction is towards this child. And so when we are in a harmony of the law of peace, then you are aware of your purity. A truly peaceful state of being is pure and nothing can affect it. When we are in our truth, the truth cannot be changed, or the truth is the truth. It's eternal. So when I'm in this state, then I allow for myself to be in my eternal being of truth, of peace and purity. And so when we break the law of peace, what happens to us? We become agitated, we become peaceless, we become angry sometimes, we blame others for our unhappiness and other people around us. And so what happens is blaming and becoming agitated is like a virus. It tends to grow and it has an effect on our personality. And so it's very important for us to realize, to bring ourselves back to our natural state of being, to the awareness, create this awareness and affirm to the self every morning that I am peace. I am a free spirit. I'm a happy spirit. Yeah. So when we practice this, we just don't say it in words, but allow for it to come to the heart and experience it very deeply. We know a lot with regards to knowledge, but the experience is in the practice. Practice, practice, practice. And you will find that definitely these qualities begin to emerge. And when you are in any situation, any circumstances, what happens is immediately, because you've created that habit in your mind, the mind will quickly change and step into a higher level of consciousness, move away from that mundane consciousness. And this meditation really works so powerfully and so positively when we practice this first thing in the morning. So the mind is fresh, the mind is like a blotting paper, it's clear, it's not cluttered with so much of thoughts and the happenings of the day. And we bring ourselves to the state where we are in total silence and just bring ourselves back to who am I really, and experience these qualities for the self. And this is how we can allow for ourselves to live positively. It seems so simple, but the practice is challenging because we are also challenged by the outside world. But I must say, once you practice this, it becomes so powerful. And it is possible. You know, in spirituality, the impossible becomes possible because we are right now attaining so much of support from the Supreme Soul. So you're not alone. Remember, in our spiritual practice, we're never alone. There is some support. And the highest support and the most pure and pristine support we can get is from the unlimited source, and that is God. So when we connect with Him, the constant one, the one who is always loveful, so unconditional, no matter what vices I have, God will never judge me with respect to that. But if I open myself to transform my negative habits, definitely God is going to help me. That rays will reach me. And you can see, I've seen many, many examples. I've met many people. And when I was in India, I met a group of people, and they were just relating to me how they went to a prison and they gave the course there. And this offender was a very angry person. And the course impacted on him so much, the meditation course. And at the end of the meditation course, he then came out of prison and he became a regular BK. So you can see how this meditation really transforms us human beings, because our innate qualities are eternal. It's actually permanent. Yeah. So it just needs something positive to trigger it. And so when we become aware of our soul conscious state, and we take the support of the Supreme, there's such beautiful transformation taking place. It's so beautiful. Really, I've seen many, many examples in my lifetime of being in the spiritual study for the past 29 years. And it's really created such a great impact. And so, as I mentioned, to be in our truth, it's eternal, it never changes. Anything that is truth, it's actually eternal. A truth you cannot change, as I mentioned earlier. And so I would like to take any questions that you have right now. If you have any questions, anyone? Is anyone experiencing the positivity in their life? Has this meditation created an impact on you? You can even put it in the chat, it's fine. So just in summary, we had gone through what is positivity, what is spirituality, and then we had gone through the beautiful tree. And, when I'm in my soul consciousness, I experience all these beautiful qualities within the self. And that is my safety as well. So when I have fear, fearful situations will arise. And I remember someone sharing a beautiful story where this visitor was from India and he was visiting the US, and he came across a lot of thugs. He was just standing in the street all alone, and it was in New York, and he was standing there, and these thugs came across to him, and they challenged him. And so suddenly he had this realization, let me show them an Indian dance. And so then these souls became so engrossed in this dance, so they didn't even attack him, because this was so powerful and so enjoyable. So you can see how I can change a fearful situation in such a funful situation. But that came about because he's been meditating over a long period of time, and he changed that situation in such a joyful situation that it even changed the minds of souls who were going to actually harm him. And so we can also, use our mind in such a quick way. And I also came across another story. There was a sister that used to walk to the center every morning, and she used to attend the early morning meditation at 4 a.m. And so as she was walking, there were a few boys behind her, and they tapped her on the shoulder and they said, we see you walking every morning. Aren't you afraid? And she just turned around and she says, I was afraid when I was alive. And these boys just turned around and they disappeared, because she was wearing all white. So perhaps they thought that she's must be a ghost or something. And so you can see how I can change the situation in such a in such a flash that souls even change the mind to even harm you. So our meditation is really a protective measure for us, how we can use our mind, our awareness becomes sharpened, and the subconscious starts to work in such a powerful and deep way that can really create a positive life for ourselves. A simple but positive life for ourselves. And the other aspect I wanted to discuss with you, I'm speaking too much. And so I just like for you to share what you've experienced with regards to positivity or using your qualities. You can unmute and share, or you can share on the chat. So I think everyone is silent, and I'm sure you are all in your positive state, which is absolutely wonderful. So it is possible to create a positive way of life, even if I'm in a traffic that is, there's so much of traffic and I have to get to my destination. I just say to myself, it's so lovely. I can even now just allow for myself to experience this peace. I can drive at a slow pace, and I can experience this stillness. I can enjoy the scenery. I can even smile at others in the cars that perhaps they never got a smile from someone, to lighten up someone's lives, just to turn the situation into a lightened situation. It is possible. And even if you're standing in the queue, sometimes the queues in the stores are so much these days. And so sometimes I just get this moment. I've been rushing in the aisles, and now I get a moment to actually keep still, to rest, to allow for my mind to come into peace, to be peaceful and spread this peace. Because we are so much in motion, and we don't realize that when we are still, we have this beautiful energy that we can generate into the atmosphere, and others can also enjoy. We are action conscious all the time. And so then we don't get those moments where we can accumulate this positivity into our mind. And this positivity, we don't realize that how this positivity is healing the soul. We need time to heal. It's just like an engine. You can't drive your car 24 hours. The engine will give up. So similarly here as well, we have to take moments of break, moments of silence, even if it's 1 second. It's amazing how I can be recharged and replenished. It's absolutely powerful. And then I can step into my art of positive living. Okay, so if there's no questions, and if no one wants to share their experiences, it's fine. We can have a meditation and close. Thank you.
Om Shanti Indrani. Ben?
Om Shanti.
It's Eva.
Eva.
I just wanted to share that we live in a world of duality where we expect happiness with sadness. With everything, they are opposites. And in saying that, we just have to be grateful for everything that we have. I think that gratitude journal is important because if you do look at it, it actually reflects and it would outweigh your sorrows in life. So if you take consideration of that, it does help to write or take cognizance of things to be grateful of. Thank you.
It's a great awareness. Gratitude journal really generates, when I'm grateful for something, that actually grows. It becomes abundant in my life. I realized it really grows when I also say to myself, I have more than enough. I'm such a fortunate person. I am the luckiest person in the whole world. And I also feel that lucky. Many good things happen all the time because I talk to myself and I say these things to myself. And definitely, in even small ways, things turn out to be so good. It may be far-fetched, I realize this, we are living in a world of duality. There is sadness, there's sorrow, but I also have a choice as to what would I like to choose. Would I like the sorrow? Would I like the happiness? And so, when I step into my natural state of my awareness, then I will choose the happiness because I will become happy and I will generate that happiness to others. Thank you so much, Eva, for that.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to share? That's fine. So we can have some meditation at the stage. But before we have the meditation, I think there's a last clip there or slide, Sister Aruna. Thank you so much. You know, the golden rule is you have the power to think what you want, no matter what the circumstance. So as I mentioned earlier, you know, you have a choice as to how you want to think, how you want to feel. So we have a choice. So this is the golden rule. So we will take a moment now to meditate and reflect on what we've just gone through. So as we sit silently, sit relaxed, allow for yourself. Thank you. Let's take a few moments to go within. Now, let's just create one thought. I am eternally free. Remember, I came with nothing, but I will only go back with all my beautiful virtues. Nothing or no one can create my thoughts. I am the creator of my own thoughts. Nothing and no one can take away my happiness. I have an inner resource of qualities. When I need to be courageous, I can be courageous. When I need to be calm, I can be calm. When I need to be loving, I can be loving. Remember, destiny lies in my own hands. As are my thoughts, so will be my feelings. As my feelings accumulate, they become my attitude. My attitude then becomes my habit. Thinking positively, creating a powerful awareness, allows for all of these habits to grow and becomes my personality, a beautiful personality. A personality then becomes my destiny, a destiny of a beautiful life of peace, love, happiness, joy. This is who I really am. I am the creator of my own destiny. I realize that every thought I create is a seed. Every seed creates fruit, whether it is negative or positive. These fruit begin to emerge and they impact on my thoughts, words, attitude, feelings, and vision. If I, the soul, need to have a peaceful destiny, a joyful destiny, or a happy destiny, then I choose my thoughts wisely. Because every thought I create creates my destiny. And I wish for my destiny to be absolutely powerful. in this awareness of awakening, I choose from now onwards to think positively, to speak positively, to act positively. And when I create this affirmation for myself in a gentle and loving way every day, yes, my destiny will be bright. I will become that ambassador of love, peace, and harmony. What a great achievement for the self, but also an example to my brothers and sisters. This is the art of living. I gently then come back to the here and now. Om Shanti. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful evening.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Indrani. Beautiful.
Thank you, Sister Aruna. Thank you, everyone.
We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. We can change the world. We can change the world one heart at a time. One heart at a time. We can change the world. We can change the world one heart at a time. One heart at a time. I see you. I see you. I know you. I know you. You're a part of me. And my heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you. You can change the world. You can change the one heart at a time. One heart. You can change the world. You can change the one heart at a time. One heart. I see I can change the world. I can change the world. One heart at a time. One heart. I can change the world. I can change.